Hello everyone, my name is Heidi Johnson and this is my video about Healthful Living honors. Yes, I said honors. So we will talk about that in a few minutes, but just a little bit about me. This is my 18th year of teaching. I've been teaching the same amount of time that I've been married, and it's my 6th year at Apex Friendship High School. I'm an Army brat, so I've lived in a lot of different places, and I love to travel. I've moved a lot even without the military. So I graduated from Wingate University with a degree in athletic training or sports medicine. And then I got my master's degree from East Carolina University in physical education. I'm also certified in health. So my husband teaches next door. A lot of you might know Robert Johnson. We have 2 amazing children. And some of the other things I like to do are go hiking and play disc golf. I'm going to take the time to show you how to navigate Canvas because some of my students are familiar with it and others are not, and it may be brand new for you. So I'll show you the syllabus and go over that, and it's in Canvas. And like I said, this is an honors course. We are not offering regular Healthful Living. So if you've had a child who took this class in the past, it is completely different. It is extremely difficult content, and it is at a very fast pace. So I'm here to help as much as I can, but also I've been reminding the students that I'm brand new at this curriculum as well. So we're all just kind of learning as we go. Just want to put my contact information right here. So I did send out a parent information Google form, which most of you have completed. If not, please ask your child to bring it up in Canvas or send you the link so that I can make sure I have your correct email address and phone number. I have sent out a couple of parent emails to the whole group, so if you have not received one of those from me yet, then that means I don't have your correct email address. I do also use Remind. I know some of you might have gotten a message from Talking Points, and I realized that with Talking Points, I cannot send messages to students. So I think I'm going to abandon Talking Points and just focus on Remind. So you are more than welcome to join that if you want to. You can see the codes right there for first, second, fourth period, and then email is the best way to get a hold of me. So it's hjohnson3@wcpss.net. This is my Canvas page. I have it set to student view, so when your child logs in, this is what they should see. This is my home page with also a link to my email. There's the school telephone number, but it is difficult to get a hold of me through the phone because I share an office with other PE teachers, and a lot of times we don't get messages on there. So honestly, email is the way to go, or you can send me a message through that Remind code. I'm going to really quickly click on the syllabus so that you can see that, and I won't go through the whole thing because you can do that on your own, but I do want to stress that this class is required to graduate. From my understanding, we will be able to go back and choose whether a student gets honors credit or regular credit. So if you're not really sure what the difference is, just send me an email and I can explain that to you as far as how many quality points the student gets. But students who cannot do all of the honors work but are still demonstrating proficiency will be able to get that regular credit. You can see what our units are. They're a lot different from the units that we used to do, and your child has taken health all through middle school if they've been in North Carolina public schools, and we used to basically just build on that, and now we are doing something completely different. There is a link to the attendance policy, which hopefully you have already seen. As far as grading goes, for our department, 40% of their semester grade comes from quarter 1, 40% from quarter 2, and then 20% from the comprehensive final exam, which is something that has already been made for us. We have no control over the exam, so that will be 20%. As far as actual quarter grades, their grade comes 50% from PE, which we have not been to yet, and then the health grade is 30% major assessment, so tests and projects, and 20% from minor assessments, so any classwork, homework, and quizzes that we take. When we go to PE class, they will get 20 points per day, so 10 is from participation in whatever our activity is. 5 is for safety and sportsmanship, and then 5 is for doing the warm-up. So if we have 5 days that week, they can get 100 points. If we only have 3 days of school that week, then they would get 60 points for the week. If they're not going to be able to participate, they do have to have a doctor's note saying how long they're out for and what exactly they can't do, because sometimes a student just might not be able to do push-ups, or they might not be able to run, but they can do other things. So it does need to be specific, and if the note does say that they are going to be completely out, then there will be an alternate assignment for them to do to earn those points. Students do not have to dress out. I know a lot of times at middle school they have uniforms. We do not have PE uniforms. They do have to have on proper shoes. That's like the first level of whether they're going to be able to participate, is do they have on the right shoes? So they cannot wear slippers, flip-flops, boots, church type shoes. They cannot have on Crocs or Birkenstocks. Like, they do need to be tennis shoe type shoes. Converse is okay. We really try to get them not to wear Sperry's, but we will let them wear those. They're just not very supportive, so it's more of a safety thing. And then they do have to have on shorts or pants. It doesn't matter what type of shorts or pants, but they do need to have on shorts or pants with an appropriate top. So now I'm going to just show you some other tabs on Canvas. So under announcements, I can post things here. Like the other day, we briefly talked about organ donation, and I had some resources that I really like that I used to share in our old curriculum, and so I posted those there. There's resources for studying the brain. I highly recommend that students look at these and quiz themselves to get ready for the test, because everything that we're learning is coming from the perspective of our brain and how it affects our brain and how our brain affects our health. So right now we're in the process of learning how the brain works, and this is the hardest unit by far of all of our units in here. I did give a recap one day, because I had kind of said a lot of things, so I might put a recap in there. The remind code is posted for each class. This is for my first period, so if your child's not in first period, make sure you don't use that one. And then I also gave the semester schedule. So one thing I need to go back and fix is that we were supposed to have a test on September 10th, and that is now being pushed to September 13th. And then those Google forms that I talked about, there's one for parents to fill out, and you can find the link to that in here. So let me show you probably the most important thing that I'm going to show you today, which is the modules. So because I'm in student view, you can only see what I have published for students. I really encourage you to go look at this Honors Healthful Living overview video, which will really give you a better idea of what we're learning and really how difficult this content is. And then there are 2 videos that can help students with navigating Canvas and turning in assignments and those kinds of things. There was a project that they had to do about themselves, and we did choose to make that a major assessment, so that way it could offset maybe if they don't do so well on that first test. Everybody should have gotten 100 if they turn that in. If your child does not have a 100, that means that they either didn't turn one in, and it will say missing in PowerSchool, or they have not set their settings so that I can view it. So I have commented that either in PowerSchool or in Canvas by the assignment. And I will always do that. If I'm giving a child a 0, then there will be an explanation as to why they don't have a 0, even if it's just the missing box being checked in PowerSchool. So Unit 1, Lesson 1, these are the things that students had to do so far. And I try to list that also in PowerSchool. When I'm creating the assignment, I'll put like Unit 1, Lesson 1, Activity 2, or Unit 2, Lesson 3, Activity 5. So that way it's easier for students to go back in Canvas right to that assignment and say, okay, I need to complete this. There are videos in here. We watch the videos together in class. Some of the classes have been letting students watch them on their own and complete the study guides. So far for this unit, I have shown all the videos together as a class because I have students of all different abilities, and it is extremely difficult to watch these videos and complete a study guide at the same time. I understand that. So I'm going through it with the class. I'm always reiterating what she's saying in the video and maybe adding a spin to it that I think will help students understand it better. And then students are welcome to ask me to fill in the blanks. Now, does that take longer? Yes, probably. But I know that this is so difficult that I really want students to be able to ask and follow along with everybody else. So you can see on here, there's a PowerPoint video presentation, and then there's a student guide worksheet, which is the study guide. Students are allowed to use the study guides on quizzes and on tests. So that's their incentive to do the study guides. I do ask them to turn them in to me, and I will put those in PowerSchool as a collected grade. So that way you as a parent can go in and say, well, why didn't you do well on this test? Well, you didn't do any of the study guides, or maybe they forgot to turn it in, but that's your indication that maybe they didn't do the study guide. So if a student is out of school, I know there will be absences. I think that, a student should go into Canvas. They should look at what activities have been posted for that day. And then they can always send me an email and ask, if there are any questions about what to do, what needs to be turned in, and so forth. So like on Unit 1, Lesson 4, we just went over these true-false questions together. I did not ask students to turn those in, but they were allowed to fill their copy in, save it in their Google Drive, and then they were allowed to use that on the quiz. Sometimes we have these scenarios or discussion activities. So right here, you can see the scenarios are posted, and then underneath that is where they would have posted their replies. This little, these talk bubbles tell you that that was a discussion question. And that also was the case for the one about the free time. What do you like to do in your free time? Some things are going to be marked extra credit. So we realize as teachers that we just do not have enough time to do them in class. And I am trying not to give too much homework. It is an honors class, so really homework is expected, but I know that it can be overwhelming. I would prefer to give my students what they actually really need to do. And then if they want to do some extra credit, they can. And that may help me know who is, going to get honors credit if they're doing all of those extra credit things. But in reality, they should be studying. I would say if they come home and tell you there is no homework, that is not true. Their homework is always to look over their study guides to prepare. So you can see we've already had one quiz, and then we've done some other activities. There was a Stroop test, which was kind of cool. Your student could try to give you the Stroop test and see how well you do. There's another extra credit activity, and then we just finished Lesson 7. So I will always be sending out emails. I'll send out at least one parent email a week letting you know what has been turned in so far, what I'm still trying to get put into PowerSchool, and what kinds of things are coming in for the future. So I hope that this was informative and worth your time, and please send me an email if you have any questions. I'm sad that we didn't get to meet in person. I actually really enjoy Meet the Parent nights. So stay safe, and I hope to hear from you soon.